Now, WeWork is considering a bailout that will hand control to Japanese investment powerhouse SoftBank. The once high-flying startup may run out of cash as soon as next month. Well, joining us now from Taipei is Tim Culpan, an authority on WeWork and a Bloomberg Tech Opinion columnist. Tim, what exactly are we looking at?
Well, right now, according to the reporting we've seen in the last 24 hours, WeWork's board is essentially weighing up two options. One is what would look like a SoftBank takeover of the company. They would buy into WeWork even deeper than they're already in and effectively have control of the company, probably even a majority of the company itself. An alternative offer that they're looking at, or an alternative idea, is more of a debt financing that is basically being led by JP Morgan, and they would, along with a lot of other investors, bring in new cash into the company. Either way, the deal that would come out would be new cash into the company, allowing WeWork to survive a little bit longer as they keep burning cash. And the way I view that is essentially buying time for whoever runs the company under the new management after Adam Neumann's been pushed out to essentially dial back some of the spending and find their path to profitability so they can keep the company going as long as possible.
Tim, what exactly does this mean for other unicorns waiting to list? Is this, again, I ask you every couple of weeks, but does this have huge repercussions, or is it more of a WeWork story?
You know, it's both, and it's kind of a terrible answer to your question, but we're seeing a long period of time. The last few years, we've seen a lot of these unicorns go to market, as in listed, usually in the US. Uber, of course, is probably the most famous example, but most of them have not been profitable up until the time at which they've listed, and they've got to these crazy valuations because companies like SoftBank has been funding them. They've been pouring more and more kerosene onto the fire, giving them money to burn, giving them a lot of cash that they can just keep spending without the need to be profitable. And if that comes to an end, and it looks like that certainly is, we're seeing a bit more rationality in the kind of startup ecosystem, that is not necessarily good for their moves to go to IPO. But then on the flip side, if we're going to see some kind of rationalism and a more focus on profit, then as they do come to IPO, other unicorns come to an IPO level, they may actually have better chances being a good debut and getting a wrap up of this approach very quickly.
Tim, we only have about 40 seconds left here. You laid out two scenarios. The SoftBank takeover scenario. What is SoftBank's track record in taking over a company? I think back to Sprint. That hasn't necessarily worked out so well for SoftBank.
Yeah, if I was an investor in the Vision Fund, put it this way, I wouldn't be keen on seeing the Vision Fund taking over any of the portfolio companies, especially WeWork.